Hello everyone. In today's video and throughout the following week, we will be talking about four-digit numbers. Now, we've seen a little bit of this over the past few months, but now we're going to talk more extensively about these numbers. Now, what does it mean, four-digit numbers? Of course, it means that they have four digits, which means that it takes one, two, three, four numbers to write them. Now, right away, you might notice a big difference from the numbers that we've used up until now, and it's this dot right here. This dot is to help with bigger numbers, with numbers that have more than three digits, to help us basically read them better so that I know, oh, okay, so this is the thousands. And starting from here, and from here we have the hundreds, tens, and ones. So immediately, let's identify what each of these digits is. Starting from the right, we know that to the far right of any number is the ones. Then after the ones, we have the tens, then the hundreds, and our new digit is the thousands. Okay, so let's start with our first basic exercise. In this exercise, we are being asked to write down the number that is described here, a number that has four thousands, 600s, three tens, and five ones. It's much like the exercises that we used to do with three-digit numbers, only now we have the addition of thousands. So, what I have to do here is consider that each of these numbers needs to go in the correct spot. So, of course, the thousands needs to go on the far left, here. Right after it, I need to put a dot. Then we have to put in the hundreds, so it says 600, so here I'd put 6. Three tens, so here I'd put 3. And five ones. I would read this number as 4,000, that's how we read the dot, 1,000, so 4,635. So it's basically like saying the number that's in front of the dot, we just say it as if this part doesn't exist at all. So 4. Then we read the dot as 1,000, and then we say the number after this. So 635. 4,635. Okay, I want you to pause the video and try and do the rest of these on your own, but be careful. Notice that even though here they're given in the correct order, so that's thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones, and the rest, they are not. They are mixed up. But the fact doesn't change that thousands need to go first, then hundreds, then tens, then ones. So pause the video and try and find these numbers on your own. And then come back to it to see if you got them correctly. So pause the video in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so if you're back, that means that you solved them. So let's see if you did them correctly. This one says 7 hundreds, 9 ones, 0 tens, and 3 thousands. So what goes first? First goes the thousands, which says here is 3. So here I'm going to have to put 3. Then we have the hundreds, 7 hundreds. So here I'm going to put 7. Then the tens, which says is 0. And then the ones, which says it's 9. So this number is 3,709. Now, instead of doing it like this, where I wanted the thousands, so I looked up here for the thousands, you could have, then the hundreds, I looked for the hundreds, then the tens, I looked for the tens, and so on. You could have done it another way. Let's see in this example. So here it says 9 ones. I'll start from here and place the numbers in their correct spot. So 9 ones. 9 ones means this has to go here. Then it gives me the tens. So it says 6 tens. So here. 0 hundreds. And 1,000. So this should be 1,000. But yes, let's correct that. And of course, my dot here. Very important. And this number is 1,069. Next, let's try that again. 9 thousands. So 9 would go here in the thousands place. 8 tens. Now careful. Tens is not here. This is the hundreds. So 8 needs to be put here. 7 ones, which goes here. This is 7. And 3 hundreds here. And this number would be read 9,387. Great. Let's move on. In the next exercise, what I want us to do is I want us to try and read and write these numbers. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of examples and, well, actually 3 examples, and I'm going to leave the rest for you to write in your notebook. So let's actually center this. So let's start with this number. Again, we said we read this part that's in front of the dot first as if this part doesn't exist. So if this did not exist, this would be just 4. So I'd say 4, then the dot, which is 1,000, and then the rest of the number, 875. So that would be 4,800 and 75. That would be this number. I'm actually going to erase this right here. I'm going to erase it to make some room. So if you haven't written it, please do. Pause the video and write this down if you haven't already. Okay, so here we have 4,875. Next up, let's see. We have 3,269. 269. So 3,269. I'm actually going to solve this case next as an example. Here we have something different because we have a 0 here, and that might confuse you a little bit. Basically, what this means is that since I have a 0 in the hundreds place, I just don't read any of the hundreds. I don't say 100, I don't say 200, I don't say, like here we said 200 because there's a 2 here. See? Here there isn't anything here, so I'm just going to say 9,000 and pretend there's nothing here and read the rest of the numbers. So 93, 9,093. And that's basically what I do with the rest. Whenever there's a 0, I just pretend that that digit doesn't, that there's nothing there. So here, for example, what number is this? Try and guess and solve it on your own. Then we are going to write them together. So pause the video and please solve the rest on your own, and then come back to see if you did them correctly. Pause the video in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so if you're back, you solved them. Let's see if you did them correctly. Here, let's go. 7,000. And what number is this? This is 790. So let's write that down. 7,790. Let's move on to the next one. We have 3,000. What number is this? This is 802. 3,802. Whether or not you put "and" here doesn't really make a difference. It's whatever suits you best, whatever sounds better for you. It's the same. Everyone will understand the number that you're talking about. Here we have 9,000. Here again, it's a little confusing because there's a 0 here. So pretend this doesn't exist. Let's say. So it's 9,093. 9,093. Here we have 1,000. Here, what number do we have? This is 700. So I would have 1,700. Next up, this is 3,000. And here I would write 10 because there's no hundreds. So I'm not going to say 1, 2, 3, or 500 or any of those. But there is a 10 here. So I'd say 3,010. Lastly, I'd say 8,008. Okay, so that's how I would write, read, and say these numbers. Okay, try and review these on your own because next time we're going to be trying to do the opposite where I give you this part, so the words, and you're going to need to write the number. Okay, try and review that on your own. Next, let's talk about comparison with 4-digit numbers. When we're comparing 4-digit numbers, there are some basic rules that we need to follow. So, firstly, let's talk about comparing 4-digit numbers amongst themselves. It's pretty much the same as what we talked about with 3-digit numbers, where I compare the first digits to see which one is bigger. And if they're the same, then I continue to the next digit to the right. So in this case, I would compare 3 with 4. And of course, 4 is more than 3, so this number is more. I don't care what's going on this side, past the 3 and the 4. It doesn't really matter. If you're wondering why that is, it's because the fact that this number is more than this means that this has an extra 1,000. This has one more 1,000 because 4 is one more than 3. So this has an extra 1,000 compared to this. So no matter what is here, even if it's the biggest numbers I can put there, like 999, that's still less than 1,000. So no matter what's going on here, no matter what numbers are here, it's not going to be more than 1,000. So it doesn't matter what numbers are past the 1,000 dot here, because no matter what, this has an extra 1,000, which is definitely more than whatever is here. Next up, we compare the 2 with the 2. They're the same, so I need to compare the next digit to the right. 4 with 4. They're also the same, so I go on to the next number. 8 with 5. Oh, well here 8 is more. So this number is greater. Next up, I have 7,122 on one side, 7,123 on the other side. 7 is the same as 7. 1 is the same as 1. 2 is the same as 2. But this 2 is less than this 3, so this number is greater. Next up, we have 9, the same with 9, 8 being the same with 8, 0 being the same as 0, 0 being less than 7, so this is also greater. Next up, we're going to talk about what happens when I try and compare a 4-digit number with a 3-digit number or less. Here, I do not compare this digit with this digit. I don't say that 2 is less than 6, so this is more. No, that's wrong. That is wrong. So I do not do that. Why? This number is automatically bigger. because it has 4 digits. Why is that? Even if it's a case like this, where it has just 1 in front and then just zeros, so that's basically the smallest 4-digit number that I can have, it's still going to be more than whatever's here. Why is that? Because 1000 is definitely going to be more than whatever 3-digit number I can think of. So try and think of any 3-digit or 2-digit or 1-digit number. 1000 is still going to be more. And you can think about that. Think about that in your mind. So let's say I have 2035 pencils or something, and you have 658. Who has more? I have more in that case. If you have 3,126 pencils and I have just 99, who has more? You know that you have more. You know you can imagine, you can sort of imagine 3,126. And you can also kind of imagine 99, and you know that 99 is way less than 3,126. So that's why this number, just by being a 4-digit number, is more than this number, just because it's a 2-digit number. I do not compare the first digit with the first digit here, like I did up here, because these were all 4-digit numbers. That's why I compared them that way. But now that we have here, we have 4-digit numbers, and here there's less than 4 digits. These are automatically more. So that's all for today. Tomorrow, well, we talked about one of the kinds of extras that we're going to be doing, and we'll do some calculations as well with 4-digit numbers. So see you guys tomorrow. Bye.